What is going on, everybody? Cut this off. Coming to you tonight here for PCKA Tuesday Talks, Tuesday night talks. We are rolling in here. I'm in my son's bedroom. We got a guest over tonight, and they're in the living room and kitchen. So I've decided to come back here to his bedroom and kind of hide out. He's over here playing video games. So, hope everybody has a good week going so far. We have started out with some much better weather this week than what we had last week at this time, or even the weekend whenever we tried to have our tournament. It was pretty miserable out on the water Saturday morning. Saturday morning, we got out on the water. It was 25 degrees whenever we put in. That was cold weather. If anybody has any comments or anything tonight, make sure you put them in. I want to make sure that we get the comment section working correctly this week. Last week, if you remember, I did it out of my truck because my internet went down here at the house, so I had to jump in my truck and run up to the shopping center up the road. So I had a little bit better lighting than just what was in my truck, and also because my signal is weak here at my house. But anyway, getting back to this past weekend's tournament, we put in, it was 25 degrees, and the cold weather during the week really put an effect on the fish, the speckled trout. The water temperature dropped 15 degrees from Tuesday to Saturday. So the fish kind of just cut off. They were not biting. Matter of fact, I don't think anybody even seen any on their fish finder. I know myself, I went to the spots where I thought they would be at, and you would see fish, but it was nothing but gar. So going ahead and share some stuff here from Saturday. Keith McGee got the first fish of the day. He rolled in with a 3-pound bass right there, 3.9, 18-inch bass. He caught that up in Sturgeon Creek, and caught that pretty early in the morning. I want to say it was around 9 o'clock or so. Shortly after that, I caught this 23-inch drum, and there it is again, right there. Beautiful fish. I don't know if anybody's ever caught a drum on light tackle. They are fun to fight on light tackle whenever you're fighting I'd say that fish is probably 5-6 pounds pure, or maybe less than that. I didn't weigh it, but he's just pure muscle and he's fighting. Shortly after that, Jace, he ended up catching this guy here. This was a 20-inch drum. And then right there at the end of the day, he ended up catching this 23, and we'll say 25 and a half inch drum. Man, I bet you that was a good fight. Actually, the rod that he was using is a medium light. So you imagine catching that fish on a medium light rod. That was a good fight for him. And the tournament did not turn out the way we wanted it. Nobody ended up catching speckled trout. So everybody went back home with the money that they put into the tournament. So we gave out our sponsors prizes to the anglers that fished, and we'll be getting ready for our next one. The next tournament for us, I'm going to run through the tournament stuff pretty quick tonight. I want to do something different tonight. So we're going to go through the tournament stuff, and then we're going to get into more what I want this channel to become whenever we're not having tournaments. So next tournament is March the 15th on Rice's Creek. And I'll go back to share my screen here. Rice's Creek is a phenomenal creek to fish. Rice Creek, Town Creek. So this fish here, I don't know if it's going to clear up. There we go. This fish here, I caught last year in Rice's Creek toward the end of February. And then during our tournament last year, I don't know if I have that fish on here or not. I don't believe so. During our tournament, I ended up catching a very similar fish in size. So there's plenty of big fish in that creek for everyone to catch. We'll be putting in pay your tournament dues at the ramp. I'll be at the boat ramp there on Rice Creek. There are a primitive launch that you can launch in there beside Highway 17. There's another primitive launch further down Gordon Road if you wish to go, or Governor's Road, I'm sorry. Governor's Road if you wish to launch there beside that bridge. If Brunswick Forest has their road open, going back to the ramp on Town Creek, you can put in there and end up running out to the river, to Town Creek, Rice Creek, that area. But you are required to pay over at Rice Creek. That's Gordon Lewis Road off of Governor's Road. It's all the way down at the end. Again, guys, I'm coming to you out of my son's bedroom. We got a guest over tonight at the house, and they're in the living room and kitchen. So hiding out in here, he's actually right here beside me playing video games. So it's he's trying to be quiet and pay attention and play his video games, and
making sure everything's right for him.
So if you hear something in the background, it's probably him back there playing around. If you have any comments or anything, put them over in the comment section if you would. Will you check to see if the comments are working tonight?
They're just people just reply.
All right. So moving on to something else tonight. Get away from tournament talk and all that. One of the questions I get a lot whenever we're out, somebody sees me, you probably get the same question, is what do you need to kayak fish? And I put some thought into this. You only really need 4 things to kayak fish. First off, you need a kayak, you need a PFD, you need a paddle, and fishing equipment. It's all you got to have to kayak fish. So tonight I was going to go over these subjects and kind of, except for the fishing tackle, I ain't going to go into all that, but we're going to go over the first 3. So the first thing I'm going to pull up is the different types of kayaks. So let me move myself to the side here. So the first one here, the first kayak, the whitewater kayak, that's not, the first 2 really are not ideal for any type of kayak fishing. These are more recreational and a youth model. You will not be using those. Now, the sit-in recreational, that's actually what I started out in, was a sit-in recreational kayak. It was a wilderness system kayak that I had, and I ended up drilling 2 holes and putting 2 rod holders on it. And that's what I started out with. And it did me great for my first year that I actually kayak fished. I had that, I had my PFD, I had my paddle, and I carried a little bag with me to a little bag with tackle in it. And I put my phone in a Ziploc bag at that time. And that's what I started out in. And I did that for about a year before I upgraded and went out and I purchased a fishing kayak. we'll put quotes around that. It was it was the best one I could afford at the time. And everything with kayak fishing is it needs to be the best you can afford at the time. As you grow into the kayak fishing, you're going to see that you may find yourself going a certain direction. So buy the best equipment you can afford during that time frame for yourself. I know people right now that have $15,000 to $20,000 in a kayak. Myself, I don't have that much, but what I have is considered more than average for your normal angler, because most people they just have their kayak, their paddle, their PFD, and a fishing pole. That's what they take. They don't have all the stuff that I have tournament fishing. They don't have all the little nuances that I have in my kayak, all the let's say add-ons. So whenever you first start out, make sure you have the best equipment that you can afford at that time. Your next kayak here is a tandem sit on top. Some people do fish out of those, especially if you have one that the back seat will slide forward and you take out the front. They're going to be a little bit longer. And I do see people fishing out of those. Your next fishing, this says fishing tandem, but excuse me, my kayak is 13 and a half foot long. So my kayak's right there in that 14-foot range. It has one seat in it. It has a large tank well in the back, has storage in the front. And you can trick them out any which way you want. You can go and drop thousands of dollars on these things once you find the kayak that's right for you. And that's the biggest thing. Find the kayak that's right for you. Here in the Wilmington area, Southport, Charlotte, Brunswick County area, go to Yak Works down in Southport and talk with Kevin. He does demos, and he can help guide you in the right direction for your kayak. You may think that you want to go with a pedal system, and you get out there. Don't be the guy that goes out and buys a hoodoo kayak, and you find out that you're not able to move the seat far enough, so now your legs are all cramped up, and you just spent $2,200 on a kayak. Maybe there's another solution. Maybe I know he sells the Lightning kayaks. They have the fin system like the original or like the Hobies do. Maybe you find yourself something more comfortable in that instead of a propeller drive system. So go down there, see Kevin at Yak Works. He can point you in the right direction for sure. And I would say if you're getting into kayak fishing, try to stay with a sit on top kayak. Sit in kayaks to get hot. You get. Thanks, Kevin. I can't see who's on and everything, so great that you're on tonight. And if you have any advice, please chime in. So whenever you're going shopping for your kayak, take all this into consideration. Don't go out and spend your money on a kayak that you never put in the water. That's the reason why most people sell their kayaks within the first few years, is because they didn't get the right kayak that was right for them. They didn't go see somebody like Kevin down at Yak Works to let them demo different types of kayaks to make sure that's the one that they wanted. So once you get your kayak, then you want to get a paddle. I'm gonna go share my screen again. You want to get a paddle, and you want to get the best paddle that you can afford during that time frame. So this right here is just different types of paddles here I found on Pinterest. And me personally, I prefer having I don't know why it didn't. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to do that. All right. So here is the different paddles, everything. These are some I just found on Pinterest. Um, just going through. You can go to Walmart. You can buy that $20 paddle, but know that that $20 paddle is going to be heavy. It is going to be made of aluminum. It's a mass produced item that is meant to be a quick sell, and you'll find that the handle gets really hot really quick during the middle of the summer, and during the winter it gets really cold. Myself, I have a what would be considered a higher end paddle. Is a carbon fiber paddle with fiberglass reinforced blades on it. I've had the paddle for several years now. Never had any issues. One thing I like about mine is adjustable. So I have a little clip. I flip the clip back, and I can actually spread it out. If I'm going from one kayak to another, for some reason, I can actually use that paddle on different setups, because sometimes you may need that longer paddle stroke. Sometimes you may need that shorter paddle stroke. So, excuse me, it's always a good idea to find the right kayak or the right paddle for your kayak, and one that's going to be comfortable for you to use all day long. And make sure it's the best you can afford at that time. Maybe you can only afford that $20 paddle. Always buy what you can afford, and don't overextend yourself in the kayak industry, because one thing about going out on a kayak, and you have to remember this in case something happens, is don't take anything with you that you're not willing to lose, because it only takes one wave coming by and you roll and flip. That's all it takes. So just remember that whenever you're going out on the water. The next key thing for kayak fishing is a paddle, or I'm sorry, is a life jacket. And there's several different types of life jackets. Remove that. I use a auto inflatable life jacket. Here's a few different life jackets. Now, the ones you're most likely going to use on the kayaks is either going to be the auto inflatable or the Type 3 water sporting vest. That could be your fishing kayak or your fishing life jacket. You see Type 5. Me personally, I don't like these. If you've never seen these inflate, you actually have to. You can get them auto. Most of them are manual. You pull the cord, they inflate. Then you have to unhook it from your hip and put it around your neck and hook it back up. That to me is a bad design whenever it comes to something that's going to save your life. You got to remember, these life jackets are your insurance on the water. It's just like for your car. You don't have your insurance in case you get in an accident. It's for when you get in an accident. If you're in a kayak, it's just a matter of time before you go into the water, and these life jackets are there to save your life. I taught a seminar down at Yak Works, and that was the one thing I kept stressing to people. Please make sure you wear these life jackets, because they're going to be your insurance on the water. You don't wear them in case something happens. You wear them for when something happens. You'd be amazed at how many people drown every single year accidentally by doing something as simple as having their life jacket. It's in the kayak, like Coast Guard regulations require that you have to have a life jacket in the kayak. And they tuck it up front, or they put it up underneath the hatch. It does you no good whenever that kayak rolls over. It does you absolutely no good. Find a kayak that's comfortable for you and that you can wear all day long. My life jacket, I wear it for during my tournaments. I wear it for 8 hours. And after your first, I'll say 3 to 4 times out on the water, you don't even realize you have this thing on anymore. So find the life jacket that's right for you. And these life jackets, they can go from anywhere from The auto inflatable and manual inflatable, I seen them a while ago when I was looking around. They start out at like $60 to $75, and I've seen some as high as $250, depending on where your price range is. Your fishing life jackets, they can start somewhere, I would say, around $50, and they can run up into the 200s if you wish to have that. Like I said, any of these right here are good for um, going out on the kayak. But me personally, I'm sticking with your auto inflatable or your Type 3. Type 5, I got one in my building right now that was given to me, and that's where it stays at, is in that building. I'll never wear it uh, because it's not feasible to have something that goes off on your hip and then you have to take it off your hip and put it around your neck. So, three things that you got to have to get out on the water: a kayak, a PFD, and a paddle. And you make sure that you have this stuff the best you can afford at the time. Because, like I said, if it's something that you love, you're going to upgrade. You're going to keep upgrading. My kayak story started out in a sit-in kayak that was given to me. Put 2 rod holders on it. I went from that. I went and got me a Sun Dolphin Boss 12 SS. It's sold at Walmart. I went out and got that kayak, and I fished out of it for about a year. Then I found me a 2014 Jackson Big Rig. Got it. I fished out of that for 2 years. The last 2 years, I've been fishing out of a 2019 Jackson Big Rig, HDFD. And if I can afford it here down the road, I really would like to get a bona fide XTR. Maybe Jackson comes out with something else, because I really do like the Jackson brand. Keith, I know that you're a Jackson dealer now, so if you hear of them coming out something kind of like an XTR, please let me know, because I really like that design that they have on the XTRs. And they are kayaks are getting a little bit bigger. That's a little bit more comfortable for everybody, especially somebody my size. I'm a bigger guy, so comfortability is a big thing with me. I want to be able to jump around inside my kayak and turn around and all that. So, anybody got any questions tonight? Anything that we've been over? We're coming up on 25 minutes here. I'm planning on only doing these Tuesday night talks for about 30 minutes each Tuesday, kind of going over stuff. One thing you need to consider whenever you're looking at a kayak is, how is the mold done? Is it a 2-piece mold? Oh, thanks. Thank you. I try to make it right for me. That's the biggest thing with kayak fishing, is make it right for you. Whenever you're using your kayak for a certain thing, make sure you set it up for that purpose. Don't let other people tell you how you should set something up for you. Because, like I tell people at work, what I eat doesn't make you poop. So you got to do what's right for you and your kayak at the time. Whenever you're out there on the water, make sure that you're safe and you're comfortable. So do what's right for you. Getting back to the kayaks, look at the different types of kayaks they are. And one thing I'll say here about buying the best you can afford: go to a kayak shop and grab a hold. Go down the Yak Works, see Kevin. Grab a hold of a Jackson kayak and squeeze. Go grab a hold of a Crescent, squeeze it. Grab a hold of the Deltas that he carries, fill it, squeeze it. Then go to Walmart and grab a hold of one of those kayaks and squeeze it and see if you can tell me the difference in between those. Because with kayaks, for the most part, you get what you pay for. Pretty sure people have seen the picture of the kayak sitting in the guy's tailgate in the middle of the summer, and the kayak's kind of slumped over like that at about a 7-degree angle. Your cheaper kayaks, they get real soft whenever it gets hot. They most people, I said that on a forum not too long ago, and most people on there disagreed with me, but I know personally that happens with your lower end kayaks, your cost efficient kayaks. We'll say it like that. They are very soft. They're made out of thinner material because the manufacturer has to keep the cost down in order to sell it at those price points. And your bigger companies, your Jackson Native, Crescent, all these companies, they have the knowledge and the availability to understand that our kayaks aren't for everybody, but the people that buy our stuff, they're looking for that quality stuff. They're not looking for something that they can have for a few years and then sail down the road or throw it away. They look at their equipment as being around for years and dependable. So look at that whenever you're going into a kayak shop, and you don't let the sticker price surprise you. Now, they have gone up over the last couple of years, but a lot of that has to do with supply chain shortages and everything like that. But at the same time, everything else has gone up. So take that into consideration whenever you're going inside these shops and you're looking at the prices of the kayaks. Think about the quality that you're going to be getting versus the disposability of a cheaper kayak. So, guys, this is kind of where I want to take this channel whenever we're not having our tournaments, is going over the kayak fishing scene around here. Next week we'll probably be going over some other stuff. Hadn't really got down to it yet on what I will be talking about next week. I can tell you that March 23rd at 2 p.m., I will be doing a kayak fishing and safety seminar at Sportsman's Wholesale in Wilmington on Kerr Avenue. The first 10 guests that show up for the seminar, they'll get a free gift at the door, and there's going to be discounts inside the store after the seminar, and they said there may be more door prizes on that day. So get in there, be first 10, get your door prize. And guys, if nobody's got any questions, we will get out of here for tonight. And I do appreciate everybody coming on and watching the video, and I look forward to seeing everybody out on the water. And our next tournament is March the 15th on Rice's Creek, and we'll be pushing off at 6:30 in the morning. So, guys, love everybody. Have a good night.
Stupid.